All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Whew, today is going to be a day. We, of course, have a lot of earnings to talk about from yesterday, from this morning, earnings tonight, big movers, a lot of big losers, but also CPI. CPI. That's the story of the day. U.S. Consumer Price Index due at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That's when we'll find out how bad was inflation in April, according to the Bureau of, or according to the federal government, and then we can debate the legitimacies of that. But we have estimates. We're going to get a number. How the actual lines up to the estimate will remain to be seen. That will determine the direction of the day. So a lot going on. We'll have Jonathan Corpina at 8:35 to help us break it all down. So let's go smash that like. Oh yeah, I forgot about Luna. Thank you, Seekin. We have a crypto crash, a literal cryptocurrency and stablecoin crashing overnight. We can talk about that as well. So smash that like button. Here we go.
Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
All right, let's get Joel here. Let's get Dennis here. Let's get the charts up on the screen. Joel, we are up. What's up with that?
Oh man, someone got the memo. Did you get who got the memo? I don't know. Someone has either got some really big, you know what, but we're up 47 and a quarter handles, 4044, pre-market high, 50.50, pre-market low way down there at 39.86.50. You have crude, man. Buying crude up $4.03 at 103.79. Gold up 820, 1849.20, trying to get back over 1850. Silver, that's up 31 cents at 21.74. Bitcoin, not much of a bounce, up $155 at 31,435. And Ethereum, that's getting a little bounce too, up 44.50 at 2401. But that is, do you know why I want the CPI number to be good? The main reason?
Your long stocks in your long-term portfolio?
Well, yeah, well,
that's my main reason.
I'm not talking. No, because of handleitis. I don't dip it into the three handle here.
You don't want to go down to the
so
fourth
if you look at my sheet, I have to go back and I keep putting fours in there. And we've been in the four handle for so
hard
long.
To break.
Yeah. So we got to get back in. We got to stay in the fours, and so that's my main reason. But I was looking at the rally. I was looking at the after hours trading, and I'm like, okay, it's up a little bit. Shorts are going to cover a little bit. A little bit nervous, and at it like what 4 or 5 a.m. This thing just caught fire, absolute fire, and here we are. So I thought we'd come in unched, up a little, down a little, but that's not the case. Up 47 handles, Triple D. What do you think of that?
Shorts are not wanting to be in there ahead of it. If you were short and you didn't cover at the close, you're probably scrambling to cover your shorts now. I'm hedged going in, not in the long-term portfolio, but in the trading account. I'm normally hedged, but I'm definitely hedged on this one because I don't think anybody knows how this is going to come in. This is everything. This number is maybe the most meaningful number of any number we've ever had on the show. So it's one thing, we get all these sleepy 830 numbers. Oh, there was a number. This is the number. Spencer, can you preview this for us?
Yeah, so there's, of course, two numbers we're looking at. We're looking at overall CPI. We're looking at core CPI, right? Core CPI just takes out food and gas because they're typically more volatile in their prices. The expectation for CPI as a whole is that prices in April, at least the basket of goods that CPI measures, in April increased 8.1% on a year-over-year basis. That's the number for the overall CPI, 8.1%. If you do look at just core CPI, just take out food, take out gas, the estimate is 6%. Now, both of those numbers are lower than the March reading. So the general consensus estimate seems to be that if you're just comparing March to April, prices came down a little bit. That's the estimate, though. What is the actual? That remains to be seen.
I'm scared. I don't know. I actually don't know if I've never not known more than this number here.
Never
I
not
feel like
known
this
more.
could just go either way. So we'll set up the scenarios. We come in line, we come a tick down, or like an 8 or an 8.2. It's going to be choppy and wishy-washy. If we come significantly under, so the number is light, like if we came in the low 7s, I think we rip higher, like rip and don't look back. I think if we come in the high 8s, or heaven forbid we ever saw a 9, I think the market just gets slaughtered. So I think this is a binary event. We're going to go hard one way or another, unless it's right around that 8.1. So, and then we're just going to need more information. So the market wants to see that the Fed is working. The market wants to see that we are already starting to see inflation curtail. But I'm not sure I think it's too soon. So, and I know prices have gone crazy. I feel like they're stabilizing and not going up as much as they were a week or two ago or a few weeks ago, but I feel like that data might not be in there yet. So I think if we look to the next month's report, I think it's going to come in lighter, but I'm not 100% sure on this one. It's kind of scary.
It's funny. I saw
I'm intimidated. I'm never usually intimidated to trade.
Oh,
but
come
I'm
on, Triple
intimidated
D.
here a certain bit. Yeah.
No, you're not.
A little bit.
No,
intimidated
you're
here
not.
on this
You'll
number.
hedge it. You'll flip it. You'll be buying. You'll be selling.
Oof, I don't know.
And then wait, I love this comment too from Big Homie in the chat. If it comes under, they cooked the books. Yeah, if it comes under, there's always, oh, this isn't real. They're lying to us.
Books.
They're lying to us.
Well, they've been lying to us for years. We know the real number's up at 15 or 16. We saw that.
Yeah, you got to keep that other stuff out of there. I was watching. I did have CNBC on. I did not have the volume on, but they show how they have the question of the day. And it asked what 2 states had the biggest rise and increase in gas over the past month. Spencer, guess what 2 states it is?
Well, I'm just going to assume Michigan.
And the other state you're from.
New Jersey? No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, great. Fantastic. No, I didn't know that.
Doesn't really affect me, but, everyone else, I guess, is affected.
All right. So anyway, that'll be the driver of the market today. But in the meantime, we do have many other things to discuss in the next 22 minutes.
Yes.
A lot of earnings from last night, a lot of big movers. Maybe we just start with like the big loser of the day, which is Unity Software. Unity Software is down 22% in the
22.81.
Yep. After their earnings came out last night, EPS, whatever. Whatever. The numbers are whatever, right? And the guidance was light. It's all you need to know is the guidance was bad. It's a growth stock that ain't growing. That's all you need to know.
Wow, what a fall from grace. I played this a couple of times. I cannot believe I actually bought this in my long-term portfolio back in March around $95, and it went all the way down to 73. Then it came back to 100, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just getting out. And I got out and I sold 100. I never rebought it, and thank goodness. I cannot believe it can go from $109 basically a month ago. Like a month ago, $109 to $37 after hours. It kissed 29. I think it was in the 29.
I know.
Handle.
Look at that.
The 29 handle.
What a bullish looking chart to me. I mean, don't tell the shareholders of the stock. 29.50, and you're at 37. 38. Let's see if it can take out 38. That's it. Dennis, you want one number? You got one number. 38.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, they just punish a Kathy Woodstock every single day. It's like the market goes up. And ARKK is still down because of Unity. It just finds a way to be down. Actually, it just ticked green here for the first time because Unity has come back. Half the losses have come back in Unity. I mean, some of these companies are actually going to be viable. Some of these companies are actually going to survive. Some of these companies are actually going to be looking at hindsight good deals. Is this one of them? I think Michael Pachter believes it. I don't know in this case. Right now I know the metaverse is ice cold. And I know when I hear about Facebook not going to make any money from the metaverse for 3 or 4 years,
They said 2030, I thought.
or even longer than that, it's hard to be an investor in something that's going to take you 8 years to make money when this market wants to show me the money. This is a show me the money market. It's not a show me the story. It's a show me the money market. And those stocks, anything that doesn't make money continues to just get the beats. This stuff will bounce back, and the CPI comes in light. This is stuff's going to bounce the most. But with that being said, are these the ones you want to stick in the long-term portfolio? No, because a lot of these stocks, not saying Unity, but a lot of these stocks, just the valuations still don't make any sense. It's tough, man.
Can't you control the temperature in the metaverse? Isn't that one of the advantages of it?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
I
don't know. That I mean, I gave you my number. Dennis gave your comments. I don't know. I mean, it seems like we see 2, 3, 4 of these every day. I mean,
every day.
Every day
We see a stock, and it's usually a Cathy stock going down 30%. Today we see 2. Coinbase is the other one. I have that small little teaser position in Coinbase that I got in my long-term retirement account, and that was a mistake. This thing's been cut in half. I can't even believe it. It's 60. It was 132. It's been cut in half in 4 trading sessions.
Yep.
It got cut in half, and it didn't even report. Now it reported, and now it goes even lower. But it basically was almost cut in half before it reported. I mean, these are just unbelievable collapses. This was a value trap, because you're thinking, oh, this makes money, but you really think about it in the crypto trading, it's probably, collapsed the volume because everybody's been brutally beaten up in it. I mean, and there's competition coming. It was a mistake to ever, nibble into this thing. It came down a long ways. I was like, I'll take a flyer on this Coinbase thing. Dumb. I was dumb money on that one.
Yep.
You still got it, Dennis?
Yeah, eating it. That's in the long-term retirement account. I stuck it in there because I thought there was value there, and no, there's no value there. So I don't know. I don't think it's a zero.
If you're holding crypto too, I mean, that's got to kind of, make you a little bit nervous too.
It was like I had like a quarter of a size of a normal position. I took like a little flyer in it. I don't know. That was back in March when I thought, well, maybe we are coming back. And March fooled a lot of people. It fooled me as well. I bought a little bit of Coinbase. I bought a full-size position in AMD. I've been buying Disney, but I bought a few things in March. I was sitting at 54% cash. I went down like 45% cash. I bought a few stocks. They were all mistakes, every single one. And everything I sold was right. I mean, that's the market though, right? We've been going straight down. So anything you bought March, you're probably down it. If you were buying stocks in March and you're not down it, those are really good stocks.
Yeah. So
hey, you want to see, before we move on, Dash, you wanted something really, really interesting here?
Yes.
Do you know what happened just about a year ago? A big media event, and kind of featuring Bitcoin and Dogecoin. It was a year ago.
Saturday night topping event.
Yeah.
Crypto.
Yep.
And we called it. We said it. I tweeted it out. I even started a hashtag, Saturday Night Live Topping Crypto Event. Go back and Google. I tried to start the hashtag to get it going. Nobody followed it. But I mean, that was such a predictable top. And it was a top for Dogecoin. It was basically the Bitcoin, I think, might have went a little bit higher after that. But the Ethereum, they all topped out in that event. That was it. I mean, now, is Bitcoin eventually coming back? Nobody knows. Maybe the stuff all goes back. Maybe Jeremy Newsom's right. Maybe, Pomp is right. Maybe it's eventually going to $1 million. Maybe the person that sold all his house and put it all in Bitcoin is going to win. But I've also seen the story play out the other way that no, they don't win. And, that it continues to leak lower. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to value it. So is it worth something? I think there's value in Bitcoin because I see it as that, I see a lot of, obviously, cash, or transactions, dirty transactions, if you want, going on like with underground, businesses and stuff. I see that, in Bitcoin always, but I can see other reasons, like with the Ukraine situation where they're locking you up and you've still got your money. It's hard to get it. So I can see use cases for Bitcoin. So I don't think Bitcoin is a zero. I think a lot of these other crypto stocks are zeros, or cryptocurrencies are zeros, if you can call them currencies. So if I'm owning any, it would be Bitcoin or Ethereum. I would not own any of this other crap. And maybe you should talk about the ones getting brutalized today. But I mean, if you got a whole portfolio of crypto, I think most of them are zeros. This is my opinion, just my opinion. I think most of them are zeros. I think there'll be a select handful that aren't zeros.
I mean, so if you own Luna or Terra, which is
I
the
don't even know what those are.
well, it's the same thing. Luna is Terra, and this is a crypto. It's one of the larger cryptos. I think it was not anymore, but it was. At this point last week, I think in the top 15 largest cryptos for market cap, and you've now lost 95% of your money here in like 3 days, because the stable coin that Terra is pegged to, that it's tied to the dollar. It lost its peg to the dollar. The stable coin's down by half. The actual crypto itself is down by 95%. And if you want to see a really funny joke, so the guy who is behind, I guess, is in charge of the Luna project. His name is Do Kwon. He's a South Korean guy,
Yeah.
and he's been obviously trying to figure out how to turn this thing around in the last couple of days, and he unveiled this plan to save the project or whatever. And essentially, what the plan comes down to is they're going to mint like an insane amount more. They're just going to create supply of this thing out of nowhere, and because his name's Quan, they're just calling it quantitative easing, but with KWON.
Jerome Powell. He put a
Yeah.
cowl into Powell.
Right, exactly. So they're basically just minting 4 times more of the stable coin than had previously existed. Where are they getting that? They're getting it from thin air. They're just creating it out of nothing.
They
And
started the printing press.
Yeah, printing press is going burr right now. For
Great.
UST. So yeah, I mean it's tough out there. If you're in this thing, I'm sorry. I mean, this is a risk you have to know about with crypto, though. Is this kind of thing
All of
can
them are risky,
happen. Yep, and
including Bitcoin. They're all risky.
yes, and I mean, with regards to the Coinbase thing, pick a number, any number from the earnings report last night. They were pretty much all bad. Okay, the revenues came in below estimates. The monthly transacting users below estimates. Transaction revenue below estimates. Trading volume down quarter over quarter. There's like nothing to like. There's literally nothing to like in this Coinbase report. So I don't.
Was this a direct listing, or was this? I don't
Coinbase
know.
was. I thought it was.
Was
a
it?
direct
Hold on.
listing? I think it was.
I'm gonna have to look. Yeah,
because I'm just
it
curious.
was. Very good memory, Joel. It was.
Yeah, because I mean that's what happens when you don't have like due diligence, right?
Yeah,
These kind of things happen,
Yeah.
and then Wall Street gives you plenty of bombs too, right? But I think you just have to, these direct listings,
Yeah.
directly taking money out of your banking account, if you want to look at it that
true.
way. I don't know what to. I'll give you one number on this one too, because one number day, and the pre-market low. If you think you want to cover short 58.12 is a potential support point. Besides that, it's just the only number I can give you. New all-time low by a wide margin.
This is capitulatory selling on this thing here now, though. I will say that, and I don't think Coinbase is a zero, but it's obviously who knows where the bottom. I mean, you could have said capitulatory selling 2 days ago, and it was $100. Now it's 62. But I mean, these are washouts. This is like the definition of a washout. Stock gets cut in half in 4 days. Yeah. I mean, these are massive washouts. I mean, some of this carnage feels almost worse than it did in 2001 and 2002, because the carnage has like accelerated here in the last 4 or 5 days. I don't remember that acceleration back in 2001, 2002. Is this death by 1,000 cuts? Is this slow leak? You're like, when did that $100 stock become a $5 stock? We've kind of seen some of that, but in the last week, it's like accelerated. Yeah. So I'm like, that's why the CPI number really matters, because you have people that have just thrown everything out and saying it's all zeros, and some of it is, but a lot of it isn't. So there's going to be, don't kid yourself, there's going to be some money made on the long side here in some stocks. And like I said, I've been nibbling into some stuff. Disney's going to report tonight. I have a big position in Disney. I don't know what to say about that. If this is, if it's going to beat or if it's not going to beat, nobody knows anything. But all I can say is, if you're sitting with 100% cash, I think there's eventually going to be a rip your face off rally here sometime. But maybe there obviously is going to be, but maybe it's going to be lower. But the CPI data means everything. So it's hard to make any market calls until we get this data in 11 minutes.
Mitch and I were talking before the show this morning, and we're in agreement on this. Now is a pretty good time to at least start putting together a list. You don't need to buy anything now, but
I think so.
But you should be putting together a list of things that you would buy under certain circumstances, right? Or things that okay, well, if you put a gun to my head, say, Spencer, you got to buy 5 stocks right now. Okay, well, at least I know that I like these 5 for A, B, and C reasons, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
at least have somebody. It doesn't mean you got to go and buy anything. I probably wouldn't, but at least have some idea of what you like and why some justification for why you like it, right? I don't know. Let's just move on here. We got 10 minutes before the number.
Sure.
Roblox is the same story. Actually, no, it's not, because Roblox is up. Is it up this morning?
It's got all the losses back, so it got the beats.
That's
Everything
having a
seems
great
to get
day.
the beats. It's come back a long ways. This is a good day for Kathy. This is one, when it's not down, that's good for her. Forget about green, but at least it's not down. But it got down to $20. It hit the nice psychological $20. I mean, this is a stock too. I mean, these are so massively oversold. Even if you believe they're zeros, they don't go straight there, folks.
No.
I mean, this is trying to go straight there. This is another stock that's basically been cutting, by 70% in 5 trading sessions after already losing like 80% of its value. So, I mean, now you're talking about a stock that topped out at $141. It's $20. Things are all down 85, 90%. It's ugly. This is a bear market. Don't kid, are we in a bear market? Of course we're in a bear market. We've been in a bear market for a long time in a lot of these stocks. We're in a bear market in all stocks now. I don't care if the S&P is not down 20%. It's a bear market. This is a brutal bear market for a lot of stocks. So it's going to be a bounce in some of these names eventually. They're all massively oversold, but I don't know if that bounce comes at 15. I don't know if it comes at 10. Everything's so massively oversold, but if you were stepping in 2 days ago when it was massively oversold, you're killed.
I know
So
that term,
it's tough market.
overbought and oversold. I mean, it's just so.
Trump's going to get more overbought, more oversold.
Yeah, more. I mean, how many people have lost fortunes shorting, oversold or overbought stocks, and vice versa. I mean, unless you have like the secret magic indicator to know when, the ultimate. I mean, like, I would like to ask, maybe I should dig Fari up, because I mean, what kind of Sigma channel do you think these things are on?
Oh.
Like, he has to be creating new Sigma channels for this.
Yeah.
I mean,
his whole thing is standard deviation, right? So,
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are several degrees out on that spectrum right now. Here, let's find one that's not.
Wait, 2350.
right.
Dennis likes one number, 2350.
All right, let's find one that's not down this morning, because we could spend all day on the ones that are down.
I can't believe it's all we're doing. Talk about stocks are down. The SPOOs are up 40 and a quarter. But,
everything else is up.
I know. What a weird market.
Maybe not earnings stocks, but everything else that didn't report earnings is trading higher.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Spence.
No, because you can spend all day. We could go to hey, how's EA? Is EA up?
Yeah, it is.
I don't even see EA is up. All right, they reported last night.
They've killed these things too, Joel.
Yeah.
The game makers, which these ones have gone full. They had the COVID run. They've given it all back. I mean, with some of these aren't even crazy valuations. They kill these things too.
You guys have been into the video games and stuff. You guys have been rah-rah on this in the gaming stocks. I've never, since Pac-Man and what was the other one? Asteroids. I mean, I really don't think they've improved much since then.
They were good for a long time. I mean, we had
I
a couple years where these stocks were really good, but now it's the year of that nothing's good. They now started hitting everything.
Like, what about those virtual leagues and stuff? Remember, Dennis, we were talking about
a year and
that
a half ago.
A year and a half ago.
In the esports and the esports
esports
leagues.
That's right.
And esports leagues and all that stuff.
It's still a thing. It's still a great.
Yeah, it's still there.
And it's growing. it's growing. But that's not even the point. Okay, is sometimes Wall Street diverges from that, and
reality.
So EA was a great stock to own if you bought it in 2012 to 2018, right? It was a great stock to own for 6 years. It's been pretty mixed these last 4 years or so. So the earnings last night I thought frankly were okay, but It's just not a good time to be buying things. Frankly,
Right.
EA is not even-
But it might be in 10 minutes. We don't know. In 5 minutes. Everything could change in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Show me a light number.
Show me the
Show
money.
me like a number in the low 7s, I'd be a buyer. You show me a number in the high 8s, and I'd be a seller.
So,
So
Dennis, you're
where we're
going
at.
to look at the number and you're going to react off the number.
Yeah. You guys are gonna give me the number as fast as you possibly can. And obviously I'm gonna be looking in the pro and getting this number and going to be trying to react off it. Yeah, that's why it's stressful being a trader on these numbers. Normal day, it's like, we do a little this, little that, we sell a little this, so short, we buy a little bit of this. This is like you gotta be fast and furious. You gotta be prepared. I'm leaving you in 1 minute so I can go and actually be prepared.
Wait,
And I
826?
definitely canceling my orders.
You're leaving at 826?
I should leave right now. I'll leave one.
There's
more
nothing
minute I'm staying.
happening. What do you mean?
1 minute I'm staying.
There's nothing happening right now. It's literally.
I gotta get. This is gonna be happening.
I'm literally
the
watching.
happening is coming.
The happening is coming.
He's got to
In 4 minutes, Dennis.
get another pair of diapers.
I'm very
maybe.
intimidated by this number.
All right. Wow.
Where are you at,
this
Mitch?
one's
Mitch,
crickets,
Mitch,
I don't even
are you
know.
intimidated by the number?
Hell no. Come on.
Are-
you know
are
that,
you
Joe.
intimidated
Excited
by
for
the number?
I'm
Uh,
intimidated.
Well, I'm not excited because I expect it to come hot, but
you think we're gonna
I
be
mean,
hot?
yeah,
I think
I'm on
we
the
are.
hot side.
And I don't know. I have no opinion. I'm going in no opinion.
Dennis? All week you said it was light. You can't.
No,
you can't.
I'm
wants
saying
it to be
scenario
light.
I'm hedged.
No.
I'm saying scenario analysis. If it's light, we rip. If it's hot, we dip. And
All right,
Blue
as
talked
a
me out of it
reminder-
because I thought a week ago before we talked to Blue, I thought maybe this data is going to be in there, but now I'm like, I'm scared it's not in there. So
This guy,
Blue's
Dennis.
changed me.
Such a traitor. Such a traitor.
That's
As a
what we do.
reminder, we
You gotta
solicited.
change your opinion.
We solicited
The best
guesses.
traders change their opinion continuously.
We solicited guesses on yesterday's show. We got 113 responses.
Mm.
What I didn't account for was that a lot of them are going to be the same.
It'd be the same.
So I don't
We
know
have a
what we're
lot
gonna, I don't know
of,
what we're going to do if we have
if that
10
number
winners, but we'll
hits.
figure it out. Yeah.
See you. I'll be back
All right, hey,
whenever
Mitch,
I'm back.
Mitch, can you
What's up?
because can you stick around and do the number with Spencer? Because I'm gonna hop off too for this. Dennis. is
Oh,
gonna-
you can't be serious.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can't be serious.
Dennis has
You
got me.
people.
No, I got it. I got it. I'll stay on for like
You
another
people.
minute.
All right.
We'll do
Here-
one
well,
more stock, and then
Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm
You
going to do.
guys are
say you people.
experts.
You people. All right, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna turn on my Squawk and Benzinga Pro, and I'm gonna have whoever's on right now. I think Charles might be out, but we have Brent on.
Walk on.
And so the Squawk is turned on, and I'll even bring up my
OVID and
There we
TAK.
go.
Mm.
All right, so the Squawk is turned on, and
Ovid Therapeutics says on May 10th, Takeda notified company that Takeda planned to announce 2 pivotal phase 3 programs evaluating
here's what we're gonna do.
Teclistat are likely to be delayed. That's Oscar Victor India Delta and Tango Alpha Kilo.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have the Squawk on, and I guess Charles is on. So if you have your Squawk turned on your own Pro, maybe turn it off for the next 2 minutes, but don't forget to turn it back on. And I'm gonna have them squawk it, and I'll just add more color as we get it. Neil Hamilton in the chat wanted to know who's gonna be in Vegas this weekend. I'll be in Vegas this weekend. Starting, I'm getting there tonight. I'm getting there late tonight. I'll be in Vegas for FinTwit 2022. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you have not been listening to the show for the past 2 months, go to that website, FinTwit2022.com, if you want to. Oh, wow. We are already.
Yeah, I
if you
heard.
I'll learn more. Okay, we
Coming up 1 minute to the CPI data at 8:30 a.m. Eastern.
You don't have to say it, Spencer.
I don't have to say it. You don't have to say it. I mean, yeah. Well, we still have a minute. Nothing's really happening. I'm literally watching.
That
We've
is
got,
the
we've got
sneak
the SPY
preview.
up on my screen, but I've got futures
I'm
up.
so scared.
I'm
Dennis!
so scared.
Nothing's happening. Literally, nothing's happening. We're just sitting here waiting. Oh, is there an echo?
I feel like
Wait,
putting it
people
on
say
the
there's an
tick
echo
chart.
on my.
Oh, it's your shared screen.
it's my
So
shared
just
screen.
mute your shared screen.
It's my shared screen. Sorry, guys.
Got you, bro.
Okay.
No worries.
All right.
Got this.
That should do it. Again, just as a reminder, okay, there's 2 numbers we're looking at here. There's the overall CPI estimate and the core CPI estimate. The overall estimate is 8.1%. The core estimate, which just takes out food, takes out gas, is 6%. Anything above 8.1%, it means, aka it's a hot number. Market probably goes down. That's the consensus thinking. Is anything above that, market goes down. Anything below that number, market goes higher. That's the consensus playbook heading into right now. We'll see what happens. Oh, geez, dear lordy.
CPI. Bam! What happened?
All right, so plus 0.3%.
The estimate was plus 0.2%.
Oh, man. All right, hot number.
See ya.
Hot number. So again,
Core CPI plus 0.6%.
Yeah, you don't have to
The
say it, Spencer. Just let him say it.
Was plus 0.4%.
All right.
Put up the banner with the actual number for us.
So, all right, hot number. The numbers that Charles just gave were not annualized. The estimates I gave you were annualized. Doesn't matter, though. All you need to know, hot number.
S&P futures are selling off here sharply, 39.96. Following that data.
Everyone was leaning a little bit on the bullish side. That's what worried me. Whenever I always listen to the quote that Dennis said before, and it stuck to me.
BSGM, Biotech Technologies, issue shareholder update.
I don't care about that,
with
Charles.
A letter on recent achievements. That's Bravo Standard.
I don't care about BSGN.
Hurt the most.
I don't care about BSGN. All right. Okay. So here's the number that I gave. The estimate that I gave, remember, was 8.1%. The actual was 8.3%. Core was 6.2% compared to 6%. I'm going to turn the squawk off now.
Okay.
All right. So squawk is off.
I'm looking for some shorts.
Squawk is off. And so, okay. You know what, though? The playbook worked, right? Because we said a hot number means the market probably goes down, and that's exactly what happened here. So everything is leaking on this. I'm looking at your SPY, but you can go Qs. The whole market just reversed. Joel was very confused this morning why we were even higher in the first place. That was I don't know what that was. You want to call it a fake out? You want to call it someone making a call? And whoever was long this morning for trades, just dead wrong here. Is there? You know what, Melanie has a valid point. It's very likely that at some point today there is a wicked bounce. That's what happens. Nothing goes straight up or straight down. But for the moment here, we just gave back all those overnight gains in the entire market. We're in the Qs now below 300. Let's go around the board here. We can watch everything just turn. Man, Dennis might not be back for a while. I don't even know where Joel is. He just disappeared on us.
I'm definitely going to be looking for some shorting opportunities in the market now. I think there's a lot of names you guys can be looking at for some shorts opportunity with the market heading down. Right. One of the things you just mentioned that we could get a rally. I think we could get a rally when we see people lean in one way, right? I think towards the number, at least, everyone was leaning bullish. At least from what I saw in the chat.
We had a bunch of guesses, right, from yesterday. And how many of you guessed 8.3%? A lot of you. Darn. All right.
There you go.
Boom. Wow. We had how many
20.
is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 people guessed 8.3% yesterday. So congrats to all of you. And
all right,
we're going to figure out what to send you.
All right, so opportunities. You want to think I can throw out some opportunities I'll be looking at today.
Yeah, what do you got?
Roblox on the downside, of course, with Unity getting hit. And Roblox conference call is actually just started.
Yeah,
so just be careful out there, but just want to mention that. Another one that I'm looking at is Snow. What happens to Snow now with the kind of Unity getting hit, Roblox getting a hit? Snow will be one that I'll be looking for a short. I also am putting this out on the Benzinga Pro Trade Ideas widget. So if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely check out the beta. That's on the bottom left there. You'll see the trade ideas, and you can check that out. I also talked about on Roblox short there too.
All right, we are bouncing a little bit here, just a little. The teensiest of bounces in the SPY, still below 400 on that, still below 300 on the Qs, but we did get a little bit of a just quick bounce there.
The number is not that hot. That's one thing to consider. I'm just.
It was above.
It was above. But 8 we said tick above, tick below, lots of chop. I'm playing chop. That's how I'm playing. I'm leaving, but I'm playing chop.
Hey, Dennis, you keep playing your thing.
Wait,
Do your thing.
that was the disembodied voice of Dennis. He can't even turn his camera on right now. He's too frazzled. But
Yeah.
wow.
I think anything towards the hot side just brings us down. I don't think even the slightest tick up, because everyone was expecting a drop. And what was the headline this morning on lovely CNBC?
What
That
was it?
they expect that inflation has already peaked.
Well,
I
that
think you were wrong.
I mean that's that. Okay, again, so what are we measuring here, right? We're measuring the price of a basket of goods, and then we're comparing that price to the prior month and the prior year. And we're actually we're not even doing that. We're comparing the change in price from the prior month to the prior year. It's
Exactly.
not about the price itself; it's about the change in price, right?
Yeah,
So
this is not real inflation.
is the change in prices getting larger, or is the change in prices getting smaller? Because prices always go up. We know that prices go up. We haven't seen deflation. I don't even know if we saw deflation during COVID. Maybe we did, but probably not. We probably did.
Yeah.
So anyway, typically we don't see deflation at all. So we're not measuring what our prices going up. They always go up. Is the rate of change going up, or is the rate of change going down? Right now,
Year over year, right?
year over year, month over month. Right, exactly. Right now, at least from the number we just got, the rate of change is going down, right? Because if you think back to the March number, right, the March CPI, 8.5%, and the number we just got was 8.3%. So the rate of change is going down. Now, obviously, some of that depends on what the number was last year, because that's what we're comparing it against. It does imply that number does imply that there was some kind of a peak potentially, right? In prices, but we're gonna have to. We're only going to really know this in a couple of months when we get more data, unfortunately. Brock says it's not terrible news. Well, it's not great news, Brock. I'll tell you that. It's not great news. The bottom line is prices did go up 8.3% on an annualized basis year over year. The silver lining is it could have been worse, but it certainly could have been a heck of a lot better. Okay, I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. 8% inflation sucks. Okay, and we're still there for at least another month. So what does this mean? To Rico Majestic's comment, yes, it probably means more interest rate hikes, because that's what this number also was signaling, is how far does the Fed have to go? And this number signals they probably have to keep going further. So a lot going on here. And we are going to have Jonathan Corpina on the show in a couple of minutes. I'm waiting for him to stop by because crazy market right now. But
I think I'm going to be looking also. I called this one out 2 days ago. Best Buy. I'm going to look for continued downside action for lower consumer spending with the high inflation that's out there.
oh wait, Jonathan just asked me to call his cell. I didn't realize he was going to be on the floor of the exchange. All right, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can swing this real fast.
Yeah, you worked that.
Yeah, let me try to call him right now and see how this goes.
You want to pull yourself down if you can, Spencer.
No. I'm just gonna.
We're going live with it. Spencer don't care.
No,
He's brave.
We're just gonna do it live.
Let's go.
Here, let's do this.
So it's gonna be interesting now. I think a lot of stocks you're gonna see them really take a hit today if we're gonna still see the inflation numbers where it's at.
All right, I'm gonna call Jonathan Corpina right now. He's live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Can you guys hear that? The phone ringing?
Yeah, we got you.
All right.
Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan Corpina, you're live on PreMarket Prep. How are we doing today?
Good morning. How are you?
Give us your take here real fast. We just had that number come in higher than estimates. Maybe not as high as it could have been, but what is your take?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it certainly could have been worse, but I think anything that gives this market an opportunity to get rattled certainly does, right? So clearly we saw the S&P futures trading higher this morning, bouncing off the lows of yesterday. Once this headline came out, I think just investors are looking for excuses. And once the market turns, the snowball effects start, right? We're seeing it in different areas, different sectors, and clearly right now we see it this morning where futures were up significantly once this headline comes up and immediately turns lower. Got to be interesting to see how we get through the first few hours of this trading session. Can we see some sort of stability at some point to see if this market could be able to rebound? But at this point right now, the pressure is on top. And it looks like it's going to continue to be there.
I mean, it's kind of a moot point now, but like, what were you thinking when you woke up this morning and you got to your desk and you saw the markets higher like that?
No faith, no confidence.
No faith.
Right? I mean, we've seen this before, right? We've seen the market have a decent sell-off. We've seen us come in the next day, get through overnight trading. S&P futures are up. Market opens, and it just struggles to stay higher. So when we see these, when I open my early morning emails and I see S&P futures are trading up 1%, I don't have a feeling of confidence when I see that, and clearly, that feeling of lack of confidence is translated to what we're seeing right now. It's just happening in a quicker pattern. Usually, we see the market open, we get through European close, and then we start to fade as we get towards the close there. But for now, it seems like the sell-off, significant swings. I mean, look at where we are right now, right? We're having you look in the Dow futures, we're having a 400-point swing so far this morning.
Yep.
This volatility in this market is just showing us that it's extremely, extremely fragile to headline risk.
So you're a trader. You trade on behalf of clients. How are you approaching today?
Today is as it's been for many days that we've had already. It's kind of like a wait and see approach, right? A lot of our clients who are larger institutional clients who are not so much momentum players. They're more value players. So their positions, yes, are affected by this, but I don't think there's any panic that's moving in and out of that portfolios. Some of our clients are hedge fund managers, so by definition, they've been hedged against some of this, but obviously not to an extent that would be fully protective. But I think as you go into today, the attitude is going to continue to be just wait and see, how long this sell-off is going to continue. You go back to the beginning of this Ukrainian-Russia crisis that we thought this was going to be over in a few days, and now we're going into our fourth month of this. As that continues to drag on, that continues to drag our markets lower. Inflation numbers continue to rise. Every news headline, every news outlet that we watch is clearly directing and dictating, these headline stories about inflation. So I think I wouldn't use, fear just yet, but I do feel that there's severe trepidation that's heading into our markets. Let's look at where the, VIX is trading now, 34. These are crazy levels. This market needs to find some stability somewhere, and we're seeing this VIX, dictate and show us that uncertainty is going to continue to be there.
You said that your clients were hedged, albeit not to greatest extent. How do you hedge against this?
It's kind of difficult at this point, right?
Okay.
I mean, I think you've ridden this race now for quite some time. To hedge against this is tough. I mean, sure, you can get into some, VIX ETFs that I think would help, but once again, we're seeing the swings in the market. We're seeing in the VIX just as much, and the risk that's there. Trying to hedge these positions, it's just you might be putting on more risk as opposed to hedging the positions that you currently have. We're going to continue to see this volatility in the market. Massive percentage moves in the market will continue. We're seeing VIX is up 3% already today, bouncing off of crazy lows that were 20 percentage points lower. So until we see some stability, it's hard to really hedge yourself and protect yourself in this market. If you're a long-term investor, we've seen these bumps in the road before, and in a long-term chart, these are little blips. But
Right.
While you're going through it right now, it's certainly scary. We go back 2 years ago in March of 2020, we were seeing the same type of volatility and the same type of fear that was in this market, albeit due to a different reason. But look how we were able to stabilize from there and come out from there. Is this different? it's not. I don't think it's as bad as it was 2 years ago. A global pandemic risk and shutdown is one thing. Talking about inflationary numbers is I think not as significant as a global pandemic. But based off of what we did see 2 years ago, I think we'll be able to rebound off of this. It's just going to take time. We're going to be getting towards, summer months where things slow down. We'll continue to talk about gas prices. We always talk about gas prices in May and June and travel. It's going to be interesting to see that effect on travel and leisure coming up. Do people take into consideration the fact that their long weekend trips are going to cost them $150, $200 more due to gas, and does that push them away from traveling? We will see that in time, but as of now, gas prices continue to be where they are, and they do continue to impact Main Street.
So the bottom line is this number. Really, I guess in hindsight, we can say it had the potential to be super meaningful, and the fact that it came in a little bit above estimates, all it really does is sort of just punt, right, until next time around.
I'm actually surprised that the market is reacting as poorly as it is based off of that number, right? Because to look at that print that came out and to have the inflationary numbers where they're at, it should have been expected, right? These numbers, we know what's going on, we know what's happening, so this should have been expected. I'm surprised that we are getting the sell-off that we are based off of that print. Yes, I would have thought we would have come in a little bit, but not a 400 point swing in the Dow. So that's why I said before, getting through these first few hours is going to be important, because sometimes the dust settles in and you do find some stability. But at this point right now, it seems like until we can get this market open, we're going to be hitting the lows for a little bit.
All right, Jonathan Corpina, senior equity partner in Meridian Equity Partners, senior managing partner. Mr. Corpina, pleasure as always. You joining us live from the floor. We appreciate that. Have a great rest of your day, and try to keep your head on straight.
Be well, guys.
All right.
Be well. Bye.
All right. Hey guys, you want to see something fun? Look at this Bitcoin chart. Look at this. Look at this. I got it up on the screen. Bitcoin is so obviously not an inflation hedge.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This is supposed to be an inflation hedge.
Look at that.
This is correlated with your NASDAQ. It's all the same speculative buyers in there. Yeah. Is that where we were? We were 8:30. We were trading higher. So we just dropped 15.
Yeah, we just dropped $1,000.
It was up to $1,000. And it's supposed to be an inflation hedge.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to buy when inflation's going higher.
Yeah.
Oops, that doesn't work.
Oops. Anyway.
It's a NASDAQ stock. That's all Bitcoin is. It's a NASDAQ stock now.
Yeah.
Joel, you killed it?
Joel's on mute, so we don't know if he's Joel, you're on mute, man. We can't hear you.
Dennis, the reason I asked you about, like, you were looking at the number and stuff, I'm not that quick like you. I gotta have your order out. Ooh. I had my order out. There. And
I just hit bids, man. I don't have orders sitting out there. I go and I hit bids.
He doesn't look, dude. This guy.
I hit bids. Boom. LUV, you got him.
Look at it
Square, you got him.
Stop in. Sell stop limit.
Got him.
Yeah. Yep. Sell stop limit, because there's no way, and it's it was the timing of it, because they jack it around right before, so sometimes they do the 2 or 3, 4 point shake, but that was just pow, like pow, filled,
come back.
And it didn't come back.
Well, that's what we said. If the number was hot, and if the number came in line, he'd get some chop. I think you're still going to get some chop, because it wasn't crazy hot, but it's still hot. And they punched the market, and it wasn't coming back. I mean, we dropped and gave up the gain immediately right on the initial thing. Some stocks are still sitting there bid, deer caught in the headlights. Wow. So here's a teaching tool. Don't have your bids sitting out there, flat or scratch when you got a number like this coming on, because you get picked off. I picked off a few people. I'm sure the high frequency traders picked off a hell of a lot more than I did. But I mean, if you're just sitting there and when sitting there with a bid, and all of a sudden the SP futures implode on you, your bid's out to lunch. So, I mean, it's one thing to put it at a discount, a significant discount. You're going to try to grab an overshoot, but it's another thing to be bidding, like basically where the market was at. And then the market goes here and your bid's here, and then, you're going to lose that amount. So, ugly. I'm still hedged.
You know what
I was
turned
just
me?
buy short, stay hedged. No,
You know what
no
turned
opinion
me?
here at this point in time. I mean, we've given it back, so the move happened. I think we're going to see
Yep.
more chop today. It's really hard to call here now, but this is bad news. I mean, it doesn't give you reprieve from what the Fed is thinking. This number does nothing to curtail Fed policy and say, hey, what we're doing is working. It doesn't do us any confidence that they won't go 75 at the next
Holy,
meeting.
yeah, hold on. Bitcoin is just crashed because the indexes are at least off their lows right now. Like the
Bitcoin is
futures are.
imploding. Your
Bitcoin is
inflation
literally
hedge, folks.
just crashing as we. This is a 1 minute chart. Look at Bitcoin right now, 29.6.
So your
You
inflation
know what?
hedge.
Blue changed me, Dennis. And Spencer, you weren't here
Blue
on
saved
Friday.
both of us.
Blue, yeah.
Blue
Yep.
saved both
I
of us.
just,
He
yep.
did.
I mean, and I don't, listen to follow, many economists or anything. And he was like, we were taking 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. And he's like 6 months, and I'm like, and then to have that ridiculous move. I mean, this move doesn't even feel like we're down 30 handles. Like, what's a big deal? I mean, we're down 80 handles from the high. But yeah, Blue, my man, Blue. Thank you, Blue. I hope you're out there. We're gonna get him on again soon.
Yeah, it was a good call by
But
Blue.
yeah, it was a good call.
This Bitcoin,
Excellent
so
call.
again, we've broken down 30,000 was key. We've
Let
broken
me see if I
down
can
here
find
again.
support.
I mean, this is a NASDAQ stock. As long as NASDAQ's going down, the correlation in the last year, you can say, oh, yeah, over the course of 10 years, it's not correlated, but that's before everybody was in. Now it's a NASDAQ stock. You have the masses are now in there. So it's a completely different animal than it was 3 or 4 years ago. So you got to stop using the correlations from when it was 2011 or 2012 or 2013. That didn't count because it was a cult following back then.
We got to look at this chart. All right, I don't know what the definition of a flash crash is, but we just fell in 2.5 minutes $1,000.
Another $1,000 in Bitcoin.
In 2.5 minutes.
This is supposed to go up,
we're
they
still
all
going.
tell you. You listen to Pompliano, it's supposed to go up when inflation, this is because Bitcoins, they can only print 21 million of them. Well, the narrative is not working whatsoever. So, I mean, we warned about this crypto for a long time. Obviously, I just have a little tiny piece left in it.
Yeah.
But, I sold, I actually can't believe I sold the Ethereum 7 days ago, I think. And I just got out of that one in time. What's that one doing?
ETH. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to change this chart right now. And here we go now. We're ripping again. Oh my gosh. Now we're making it back, Joel and Dennis.
What do you mean? What's making
ways
that?
to make it
What
back.
are you seeing? What are you looking at?
I'm looking at 1 minute.
It's now $2,000 from when the 830 number came out.
I mean, we're 400 points off the low. But bring my chart up here for a second, because let's just go to what we've learned and what has gotten us here. On your monthly charts, okay, when you fall into areas where there's large vacuums and there's not much price action, what happens when it comes back down to that area? And that's exactly what you're looking at here in Bitcoin. In a matter of 3 months, we went to 15 to 30K. And now you are under 30K. And this is, and the market goes down faster than it goes, goes down faster than it goes up. So, I mean, could we be at 15K by the end of the week in this thing?
No, at the end of the week. But could we be at 15K sometime? Yeah, I think so. I wish I would have took Jeremy on his bet though, 30,000 versus 100,000.
Oh man, I hope he's doing okay.
Well, he's fine. He's hodling, so he doesn't care. He thinks it's going to be a lot higher, and if you're a true believer, maybe it is. We don't know. He might be right. Like I said, there's no way to know anything. So, maybe this is the all-time low. Maybe it's going to be the new low 29.2, and it's going to rally up to 100,000 from here. But I'm just telling you, this is what I make my living on, is relationships and identifying relationships. Bitcoin has been trading like a NASDAQ stock for the past year, very correlated with it. So as long as the NASDAQ's going lower, it's hard for Bitcoin to bottom.
Even for Bitcoin, though, the moves that we're seeing in the last 15 minutes are remarkable. Or 20 minutes.
Big moves.
These are huge moves. We just ripped $900 in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Not fun times. crypto land.
Yeah, we are approaching the low from yesterday. 39.53.
Wait,
We're
Chris,
All the way
leaking.
around
Yeah.
true. Here it comes.
yeah, Chris wants me to
Probably
over.
not a bad place to try and cover a portion of your short. Going long is a whole different
It's
story.
hard to go long. I mean, if you're 100% cash, sure, you can go nibbles.
There it is. We just breached yesterday's low. 39.53. Down goes Frazier.
I mean, we were Bitcoin 40,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, what, 6, 7 days ago? Now we're Bitcoin 29,000. It's a 30% fall and 25%, 26% fall in a week.
They just
Tough,
filled the
man.
50.
I'm not
50
comfortable having all my money in that. Tell you that.
53 stops at 51 filled. All right. Do we want to?
Here's the problem. Let's go back to macro talk here. So
Yeah.
here's,
We
we
have
got new information here, and here's the problem, and this is what's happening so far, is people are worried about the Fed's course of action with interest rates. This number does nothing to help ease those worries. It didn't go crazy where we're like, oh my gosh, they're going to go 75 the next meeting, but they're definitely not going to stray off course now with this number. So that means that the Fed is going to stay on course, continue to raise interest rates until we start to see improvement. And I'm going to stick with what I said. Until you start seeing the CPI data come in light, it's hard to be a buyer of stocks. The next CPI data point isn't for a month now.
I know.
So what happens in this next month?
You know
I'm
what?
not
the
saying
thing
we're going to
too
go
is-
straight down, but it's hard to just go all in here. So it's very scary, to
You know what's
come
the
in
most
here
scary
and
thing is
buy
that everyone
stocks
thinks the
blindly.
market's going to come back. Why does the market have to come back?
Because it always
Like
does,
everyone-
Joel. They
it
show
always
you the
does.
data. They show you the data, but they won't show you those individual stocks that didn't come back.
Right.
And
The
I mean, we
broad
went through
market,
this.
the broad market is not individual stocks, right? The broad market history shows us, more often than it does come back. The broad market does. But within that umbrella, there's hundreds of thousands of stocks that never came back. That's the difference.
Maybe not hundreds of thousands, but the thousands of stocks that never came back.
Over the course of 100 years, I'm sure there's
Some of these stocks, we're going to promise you, some of these stocks are not coming back. I don't know which ones, but you look at like a Ride.
We literally had a
Ride.
stock. Wait, we had a company last night report earnings. Go EV, GOEV, Canoe, EV player, right? What do they say? They said we have a going concern. Okay, they don't know if they're going to be able to remain in business. They said so last night. They're the first. I don't even know if we've had that yet, but they're probably the first of several of these EV companies to say that. These going concerns.
Yeah, you read that in a note or or a report or anything like that. Somebody says that, you sell it. In my opinion, you don't buy stocks that are now mentioning being a going concern.
No.
These are very dangerous. Some of them do come back. Most of them go to zero. So I'd be very scared to buy anything that is mentioning that.
Yeah.
So, and there's going to be a ton of bankruptcies coming. You're going to have fun in bankruptcy land because, you got like 100 EV companies out of there, and it's probably going to be like 5 or 10 survivors. So you're going to start seeing like a lot of these EV stocks, these storage stocks go under. This is what happened in the tech bubble. This is a repeat. We now can say for certain we have repeated in many stocks what happened in 1999 and 2000. It isn't a question anymore. Some of these stocks have already done it. Down 80-90%. Some will go to zero. Some will come back. There will be an Amazon that will come back, but there will be a lot of pets.com as well that will not come back. Excite at Home, AOL, which ended up getting bought by Time Warner, but then that hurt. I mean, there's a lot of examples of stocks that didn't come back. I'm not saying you got to turn around and sell your whole stock portfolio.
No.
I think you've got to be a little balanced here. I think over the course of the next few weeks, I will continue to add good stocks into my portfolio, the stocks I believe that are going to be there. Like a Disney, I don't believe Disney is a zero. Does it hurt me right now when my cost basis is 126? Absolutely. But I don't think Disney is a going concern. I don't think it's going to zero. So I'm staying away from stocks that are speculative and potentially could go to zero because those could go to zero a lot sooner than we think. So I'm buying good companies at reasonable valuations now. That's what I'm looking at.
If you traded the Disney, and you just want to look at subscriber numbers, right? That's the thing. That's the thing that the parks, are toast, right? Shanghai's closed.
They're not
Right.
toast at all. That's such a horrible statement, Joel. They're closed. The parks are
The
nuts.
Shanghai park, I mean,
They're not
it's
closing it down permanently, and it's like we're burning it to the ground.
I meant it's for at least for that for
I
3 months,
completely
6 months.
disagree. I
Okay,
completely
well, I think it's going to
disagree.
be the subscriber numbers. I
Oh,
think
But
it's
they're
going to
not even
be.
paying anything for
Well,
Disney Plus
no.
anymore. What are you
This-
playing? Disney, here's a fun fact for you, was $120 stock before they announced Disney Plus. It's now 107, 106. So
How are
you're
people going to
now,
afford
it's
to go to these
$40
parks,
down
Dennis?
before the even Disney Plus
How are people going to
existed.
afford to go to these parks? They're losing money in their portfolio. Gas is up. Inflation's up. You can't have both. You can't have this inflation and not affect
Okay,
people's
buy nothing,
pocketbook and
Joel.
traveling.
Buy nothing,
Look at the way
sell it
these
all.
travel stocks have
Sell it
done.
all.
I mean,
Sell it all. Then sell it all. But
I-
I'm going to buy
You know
some
what,
stocks
look.
that I think are going to be here. I don't know
Joe
what the
would.
hell.
Don't
Hey,
threaten Joe
stop.
with a good time.
I don't know what Disney's going to do. Did I put Disney in my trading portfolio? Am I long Disney in my trading account? Hell no. But do I have it in? Do I think Disney is higher 20 years from now? I do. I do. Would I put it in my kids' RESP? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Because you know what? I think you're getting it at a reasonable price here now. It wasn't reasonable at 200. It wasn't reasonable at 180. But you do have one of the best run companies in the world that can, if anybody can navigate COVID. And don't forget about this. I do think when the metaverse story starts to get hot again, that Disney is going to be one of the number one players in the metaverse that nobody talks about. So I like Disney. I think you're getting it at a reasonable valuation. It could go to 80. Go ahead. I'm not on margin. Go to 60. I'll buy more. Go ahead. Is it going to zero? Maybe Disney's going under. They're going to close all the parks and it's going to zero. But that's a really bold call. I think that only happens if we get a nuclear war. I think that happens if we get a nuclear war and we get a nuke at us, and then it doesn't matter anyways. So what company are you buying, Joel? I threw out Disney.
Nothing.
Are you buying anything?
Absolutely nothing in this market. I don't want to buy. I like a cash position. There's nothing in this tier, nothing in this market. There's not one stock that I would buy. There's just nothing. I mean, I'm at a different age, a different point than you. Yeah, over 30% cash. And no, it's enough pain. Why do I need to buy stuff and watch it go down? I mean, I'm not thinking about 20 years. You're a youngster. You can, and Spencer, you guys can think about it. I'm not thinking about 20 years. No way.
You're in a different position too, and it's a good point. If you're 80 years old like Joel, and he threw the softball up the middle on that one.
Come on,
maybe you shouldn't be buying these stocks today.
Yeah,
Spencer Israel, I'm throwing the question to you. Spencer Israel, you were young.
Let's go to Spencer.
You are going to be around for a long time here. You're not on borrowed time like Joel.
Knock on wood.
Hey, you talk about 20 years in your portfolio. I hope I'm around in 20 years.
Wait, is that
hey,
what are you buying for the next 20? Would you buy a Disney
today?
What?
For 20 years from now?
I'm not buying more. I already.
What would you buy? Forget. I won't tell you. What would you buy? What stock would you buy?
Honestly, you've been raving about Disney since 180. You guys have been bullish since 180.
One of our interns asked me this the other day, and as boring as it is, if it were me, actually no, not even for me, because I'm buying more VOO/SPY. Same thing. That's it. Or VTI.
It's a good buy.
That's it. VTI. The whole thing. Just take it all. Okay. Yeah. That's what
that's not a bad play. It's not fun though.
I'm sorry.
It's not fun. I'm in it for a little bit of fun.
I'm not fun enough for you, Dennis.
I can just sell all my stocks.
Oh my gosh, I got to hop, guys. I didn't realize what time it was. I'm sorry.
Dear Lord.
Joel's leaving.
You know what else we forgot to mention? Mad. You know what we didn't mention this morning? Speaking of stocks going to zero, Redbox is getting acquired here. This is a company that SPAC'd, they SPAC'd 8 months ago at a valuation of like $693 million. They're getting bought today for like half that. So
what are they getting bought for?
It's a $375 million deal. They're getting bought by Chicken Soup for the Soul, which is also another.
They're just getting bought. It's down 51%. Was this a take under?
I mean,
what's the price? Do we have the price?
No, it's an all stock deal. You want the ratio?
Yeah. What stock is buying it?
CSSE.
CSSE. I don't even know what that is.
It's Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Chicken Soup for the Soul is paying for Redbox, and the stock's down 50%. It's getting bought, and it's down 50%. Looks like a take under.
It's an all-stock deal.
Terrible when you're in a market.
It's an all-stock deal. The ratio is 0.087. Don't say I didn't warn you. All right.
0.087, but it's $2.60. That doesn't make sense either. So
I-
I'll have to analyze this deal further. But
That's it. Oh my goodness, what a morning!
this was a little bit of a circus show here. Obviously, I think just to finish up, I wanted to make one more point. If you're 100% cash in your long-term retirement account and you're 25 or 30 or 40 years old, I think you should buy some stocks. If you're 100% cash and you're 80 years old, well, maybe you shouldn't be buying any stocks. But if you're 100% cash, I think it's time to put money to work. I'm 52% cash. I think I'll probably put some more money to work. Maybe not today, but in the next few days, nibbling, doing some analysis, looking at different companies. I think I've still got 20 years. I hope I've got 20 years so I can have that Disney eventually work out and I can laugh at Joel. But maybe we're all going to get nuked and there's going to be no more Disney World and then Joel.
And I'll echo your thoughts, and I'll just say right now, am I buying any individual stocks for long term? No. Am I buying the broad market? Yes. Okay, I'll buy VTI. I'll buy VOO. For sure, I'll even buy a little bit of VEU, which is Europe, which is the rest of the world without the US. I'll go international. Yeah, sure. I'll do the broad stuff. I'm not going to do the individual stocks right now. It's not that kind of a market. But I'll buy some more broad ETFs. We got to wrap though. We got to go over to live trading.
Okay.
This is a wild show.
Wild. It's going to continue to be wild.
I'm going to be out the next 2 days. I'll be in Vegas for FinTwit 2022. So you'll have Joel, you'll have Dennis, you'll have Mitch for the rest of the week. But I'll see you guys. For those of you that are going to be in Vegas, I'm sure I'm going to see you and meet you. I'm very excited for that. So I leave you in their capable hands. Smash that like button. Please remember, as always, all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice, especially on a day like today. Dear Lord, I need a break. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Catch you later.